In this video, we will learn how to acquire followers on Twitter. Twitter, like all social media platforms, depends on your connections to spread your message. So you need to have large number of followers who will be exposed to whatever you tweet, your messages, and who will interact with your messages in order for your message to spread. On Twitter, we want to get followers who are either our target customers or who are bloggers or journalists who write about the industry. So they are influencers. Sometimes you may not be able to find the exact target customer on Twitter for your product or service. But you will always be able to find bloggers and journalists who write about your industry because those people are very active on Twitter. So by following those people and engaging with those people, you'll be able to build a relationship with those people and get more coverage for your company. There are different ways in which you can acquire followers on Twitter. The most useful and direct way is to follow targeted users manually or using some tool. So you identify some people who you want to target on Twitter. You want your message to get across to these people. You want to engage these people. So you follow those people. When you do that, a lot of people will follow you back. And if they do, then you acquire a new follower who is going to be exposed to your message. And because this is a very targeted audience that you are following, your message will be seen by a very targeted audience. You can also run ads to acquire new followers. This is a very expensive way of getting followers on Twitter. Once you have some followers on Twitter, you can start sharing high quality content through your tweets, and your current followers will engage with it if it is high quality, and that will spread your message and help you get new followers. On Twitter, a lot of users follow a convention where they'll follow back anyone who follows them. It is more of a convention, not a rule. So some people will follow you back and some will not. We use it to our advantage by following targeted people on Twitter, whether they are targeted users or customers or bloggers, influencers, we follow them. And if the person follows us back, we get a new audience or new follower. So when you create or find people, create a list of people or you find people who you want to target on Twitter, look at the number of people this person follows and the number of people who follow this person. You want followers who in turn have large following so that your target audience is much bigger. If this person ends up liking or interacting with your tweet, then a large number of people will see your tweet. At the same time, you also should follow people who follow large number of people, because that indicates the willingness on his or her part to follow you back. If somebody is already following large number of people, then that means this person follows this convention of following back someone. If somebody is following only a handful of people, that means there's very little chance of that person following you back unless you are a celebrity. We do this every day, follow 40 to 50 people every day. And if you do that, you'll start getting 15 to 20 followers every day. And once your number of followers increases, then you'll start getting more followers because others will start discovering you. One of the tricks you can use is initially follow people who have large following, more than 50,000 followers. and who in turn follow large number of people. Because these people are following a large number of people, they are more likely to follow you back. If they follow you back, you immediately get a follower with large following. Once you have a few followers who have large following, others will start to think that you are somebody big because people with large following are following you. Twitter will also start promoting your profile. So it helps build your profile on Twitter if you have people who have large followers and they are following you. So initially, if we can attract 20, 30 people like that, immediately our reach increases. Immediately we get established as somebody big, somebody influencer, because large people with large following are following me. So I must be something big. And Twitter immediately starts promoting your profile, starts showing your profile for others to follow. So you start acquiring more followers. You can also acquire followers by tweeting good shareable content every day. When you do that, you build up a reputation about good content, high quality content that is going to attract more followers. When you share good, high quality content, your followers will interact with it. So it will be exposed to more and more people. Your content will become more discoverable. As more people find your content, they're going to follow you. Also, by sharing good content, you also come across as an expert. So it helps build up your profile as an influencer. And then you will start getting even more followers because people will think you are an expert. So people in your field, in your area of expertise, will start following you even more. You should be very careful about what you tweet and at what time you tweet if you want to acquire new followers through your tweets. You should ideally look at the tweets of people who are following you, the large followers who have lots of following. Look at their tweets and figure out what kind of content they're interested in, what kind of things they tweet, and importantly, what kind of tweets they're retweeting. If you can find a pattern and then start tweeting things that they're more likely to retweet, then you'll get a lot of exposure because even if some of them retweet, your tweets will be exposed to a lot of people, much bigger audience. Also, find out when these followers are active. Look at which country they live in. That will give you some idea about what times of day they might be active. Look at their tweets. Is there any pattern? Is it coming out at a specific time or is it coming out randomly? If it is coming out at specific time every day, that means they are using a scheduler and they may not be actually active at that point. If the tweets are coming out randomly at random times, then it means that those tweets are coming out manually. They're tweeting manually. And therefore, they are more likely to be online at that point in time. You can use tools like Buffer to schedule your tweets. Once you start tweeting using Buffer, after some time, it'll show you how your tweets are getting engagement, what time they get engagement, which kind of tweets are getting more engagement, so you can optimize what to tweet and when to tweet. You can run ads to acquire new followers, but as I said, it is expensive. You will pay Twitter per follower acquired. For every follower you acquire, you will pay Twitter some money. You can target your ads at people who follow specific people. So you can target your ad, for example, at people who follow your competitor. You can also target people by specific keywords, location, or profile. So people who are tweeting about certain keywords or who live in a specific location. But depending on the geography you are targeting, your ads are going to be expensive. Especially if you want to acquire followers in US or Western Europe developed markets, your ads are going to be very, very expensive. You'll end up paying anywhere from $1 to $3 or $4 per follower acquired. So you need to have large budget to acquire followers through ads. This is why the recommended method for acquiring followers on Twitter is through organic means. By manually following others, retweeting them, tweeting things they will be interested in retweeting, so you get more exposure, more people see your tweets, and therefore more people will end up following you. You can also acquire followers through your website. You can create a follow link on your website. When somebody comes to your website, they can see the Twitter follow button, they can click and become your follower. You can also include a link to your Twitter account in your emails. So if somebody is interested, they can click, go to your Twitter profile and follow you. So you can drive some people from your emails also to your Twitter profile. You cannot acquire very large number of followers like this unless your website gets lots of followers or if you have very large email list. But you can acquire some very targeted people through this method because somebody who's coming to your website is already interested in your product or service. So that person is very targeted. And even if they have not opted in for your emails, if they become your follower on Twitter, you'll still be able to reach them through Twitter. You can also embed Twitter's retweet button in blogs. So when somebody is reading your blog, they can simply click the tweet button and share your post with their followers. When somebody shares your post, you can set up your Twitter profile so that your account is recommended for following. So if somebody comes to your site and shares your post, Twitter will recommend your Twitter handle or your account to this person to follow. So people who are already interested in your post or sharing will be invited to follow you and they're more likely to follow you. Also, by having more shareable content, making it easy for people to share content from your website to Twitter, exposes more content from your site to more people and helps in bringing more people to your site and gain more followers.